economy of material. I believe in that a lot, you know. Not necessarily at the beginning, like when, you know, maybe when I'm starting a tune, maybe it's going to be kind of a mess, and then I figure out, oh, what's the core of this? I mean, we were working on this tune today that I wrote that I wanted to edit, you know, and as always happens, it almost never gets more complex, it gets simpler. Like I will kind of whittle it down to what the essence of the thing is, you know. Sometimes a lot of notes are what you want, you know. But they have to be notes that makes that like there's a reason for them to be there, you know. And that reason is simple, you know. Okay, it's a really fast line over something not fast, you know. Maybe that's the concept, you know. But yeah, I mean the way that I work as a writer, I don't even know, you know. It's actually really the same process. It's improvisation, you know. It's very fast composition, you know. And writing is very slow improvisation that you can edit. You know, you get a chance to change your mind. So it's really the same. It's really the same kind of process, but it's fun because you get to control what everybody does. Should we? Yeah, about 5. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
In terms of what you're talking about, your sound, I think it's such a clean and even sound as you are.
Ooh, yeah. Well, sound is. Yeah, there's another big thing that I concentrate a lot on and don't really know how to explain. But yeah, all the things that they tell you to do, you know, there's a reason. Like to breathe from here, you know, have as little tension as you can here, you know, have these big muscles do the work, is all that. But again, you know, it's hours and hours and hours on the horn figuring out what sounds good. And when you're doing something that you don't like, oh, it's kind of pinched in the upper register, it's this, it's that, you know, figuring out a way that it doesn't sound like that, you know. And again, there are people who can really look at someone and say, oh yeah, you're doing this with your arms, you do this and then do this. And I'm not like that, and definitely not with my own, you know, when it's yourself, you really, it's like, for me, it's been just a lot of experimentation, and then trying. When I do get the sound, I try and remember what that is and make it a habit. You know, for the past few years, I have been kind of checking out like what Joe Allard used to say, and he was a teacher. He was mainly a classical clarinet player, but you know, he taught all kinds of folks, and I think he taught Train a little bit. I know, like, I think Harry Carney took some lessons with him. I know Michael Greger and Dave Liebman, you know, Dolphy, I think. And, you know, he just, these were kind of his things, which I don't really, I'm not an expert at all, but I've found that advice that I've gotten secondhand from people who studied with him. There's information on the internet, too. That's been helpful. But there's really just no substitute. You know, you can't just exploit, you just got to spend a lot of time on it. And sound, I think I focus on sound more than anything else, really. I mean, that's the thing that bothers me the most when it's not working. You know, the thing that bothers me the most about my own playing, you know, it's, yeah, like when I'm in the middle of some idea, so I lose the focus of the sound, how to do it, you know. The thing that really bothers me, and I know this would solve all the other problems, is if there's any kind of tension or fear or I don't know how to say it, you know, some kind of whatever it is that's not cool personally, that always comes through in the music, and that's what I'm really trying to get rid of. You know, if I ever hear like, oh man, I'm just trying to, for whatever reason, I'm trying to kind of steer the conversation in this direction that I think it's supposed to go, you know, like I hate that when I listen back to that. That's like, I can easily forgive myself, you know, missing a note. That's no big deal. But if I feel like the intention is not right, and that, you know, this is kind of sounds tangentially related to sound, but it's very related, because you know, since I've spent enough time on the horn, when I'm in a good place and everything is going, then the sound works. And if the idea is not quite right, then sometimes it gets kind of choked off, I found. So I actually end up finding that the way to really address the sound thing after getting basics, you know, harmonics, long tones, and a few thousand hours of doing this, you know, it really has to do with my frame of mind and the ideas that I'm playing and how I'm approaching music, you know.